I'm William Theo.
And I'm Layli Wag.
Bringing you today's burning issues and the hottest news here on News Force.
Here are the headlines on News Force. NBI says Atimonan Quezon shooting incident is overkill. Hacktivists strike on eve of cybercrime law hearing. MPD urges public not to bring firearms during the election gun ban. Comelec gets additional 14 billion pesos for polls. DFA to verify new Chinese maps. Palace won't interfere in Enrile and the Defensor Santiago's word war. Cyclist Armstrong apologizes to Livestrong staff. And Zero Dark 30 tops US box office chart. Fair and balanced news, comprehensive reports that take you to the heart of the action. This is News Force.
National Bureau of Investigation or NBI said the Atimonan Quezon incident was an overkill. Lorraine Mata with more of the details.
Virgilio Mendez, National Bureau of Investigation Deputy Director for Regional Services, who had yet to receive reports from the Philippine National Police, described the Atimonan Quezon shooting on January 6 as an overkill. Mendez was cautious in describing the shooting as an ambush, as the Bureau's investigative team had not yet turned in its report to President Aquino. Early investigations identified 3 checkpoints set up in the town of Atimonan. A source in the Bureau said the second checkpoint was where the supposed shootout happened when the group of Seman refused to get off their vehicles. Someone cried fire, then the security forces raked the vehicles with gunfire. But after a ceasefire, another fire came from Seman's vehicle, which hit Marantan and led security forces once again to open fire. However, the source noted that if Seman was really stopped at the checkpoint, Superintendent Alfredo Consemino, Deputy Director of Headquarters Support Group of the Mimaropa Police, who was with Seman, would have just stepped out to introduce himself as a police officer. Philippine National Police Director General Alan Purisima, meantime, was reluctant about the PNP probe report Monday. He did not deny nor confirm reports that the Atimonan incident was an ambush, however reiterated that the policemen involved in the shooting were likely to face administrative charges due to failure to conduct standard operating procedures at checkpoints. For GNN, Lorraine Mata, News Force.
Top police officials in southern Luzon on Monday insisted that the police operation in the Atimonan Quezon province shootout that killed 13 alleged criminals was legitimate despite an initial finding by police investigators that use of excessive force led to the many deaths. Chief Superintendent James Melad, director of the Calabarzon Regional Police, signed the proposal for the police operation called Oplan Armado, together with Superintendent Hansel Marantan, Chief of Intelligence, and Superintendent Glenn Dumlao, head of the Regional Public Safety Battalion of the Calabarzon Police. Melad, however, declined to comment further on January 6 carnage after President Aquino instructed the Philippine National Police to stop issuing statements about the supposed shootout.
The Senate will open an inquiry into the January 6 Atimonan Quezon shootout between government security forces and alleged criminals which killed 13 people. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Senator Gregorio Honasan, on Monday said he was ready to start the inquiry but would wait for the findings on the government's investigation before calling hearings. He said a Senate probe would most likely start when Congress sessions resume on January 21st. Hacktivists strike on government websites once again on the eve of the hearing of cybercrime law. Here's Paul Ang for the report.
On the eve of Supreme Court hearing regarding the enactment of the cybercrime law, hacktivist group Anonymous Philippines once again defaced several government websites in the country. Websites hacked by the group were National Food Authority, National Maritime Polytechnic, and the Municipality of Jose Panganiban, known as the Mambulao.gov.ph. The hacking took place a day before the Supreme Court commenced on the oral arguments on the Republic Act number 10175, commonly known as the controversial Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. On their statement, Anonymous Philippines reiterated that the law threatened the Filipinos' freedom of expression because it criminalizes online libel and has a higher punishment unlike the common law in media. Meanwhile, Department of Agriculture Secretary Proceso Alcala said that his staff in charge of the website are now taking actions on restoring back the page and ensured it will be available to the public soon. For GNN, Paul Ang, News Force.
Police on Tuesday morning tightened security at the Supreme Court in Manila hours before the High Court's hearing on the Anti-Cybercrime Act of 2012. The Manila Police District kept watch over protesters who held a vigil Monday night near the High Court premises, and the police were also reminded to practice maximum tolerance in dealing with the protesters. Meanwhile, hackers affiliated with Anonymous Philippines defaced more government sites early Tuesday, but some of the defaced sites were quickly disabled as of 7 in the morning on Tuesday. Anti-cybercrime law groups Philippine Internet Freedom Alliance and Bayan continue to stage their protest against the Cybercrime Prevention Act on Tuesday. The vigil and protests held on Monday were in preparation for the first set of the oral arguments on the petitions filed against the cybercrime law on Tuesday afternoon. 5 lawyers from the 15 petitioners were appointed to present their arguments against the said law, namely UP professors Harry Roque Jr. and Jesus Dicini, Julius Matipag of National Union of People's Lawyers, Philippine Bar Association Legal Counsel Rodel Cruz, and Bayan Muna Representative Nery Colmenares. Meantime, Bayan Secretary General Renato Reyes Jr. said they are more confident now that the Solicitor General has admitted the Section 19 or the takedown clause of the cybercrime law to be unconstitutional.
So at the minimum, hopefully we will get an extension on the temporary restraining order dahil nga po ito ay mapapaso na sa February 6. So after that, mapapatupad na yung batas. So dapat ma-extend yung TRO hanggat hindi pa nare-resolba ng korte yung mga petisyon. At the maximum, gusto natin syempre na maibasura ng korte yung batas na ito bilang labag sa konstitusyon.
Various agencies in the country now take action to secure government websites after the numerous hacking incidents prior to the oral arguments of the Supreme Court regarding the cybercrime law. Presidential spokesperson Edwin Lacerda said that the government is now framing a series of plans to strengthen the firewall and security of the websites to prevent hacking. Lacerda further added the National Bureau of Investigation has been able to identify some of the government websites' hackers but refused to identify the individuals. The tail end of a cold front is affecting eastern Visayas while a northeast monsoon is affecting eastern Luzon. The Samar and Leyte provinces, central Visayas and Mindanao will have cloudy skies with occasional light to moderate rain showers or thunderstorms. Bicol Region, Cagayan Valley, and the provinces of Aurora, Quezon, and Palawan will experience cloudy skies with occasional light rains. Metro Manila and the rest of the country will be partly cloudy with brief rain showers or thunderstorms.
MPD urges public not to bring firearms during election gun ban. Comelec gets additional 14 billion pesos for polls. And DFA to verify Chinese maps. Stay tuned for those stories and more reports when News Force returns.